That's about as American as it gets, bro.
It's American.
Is this thing on?
Check 1 2 1 2.
It's fucking crazy.
They're invincible, indestructible, and he's living for like 10,000 years.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hunt for Greatness podcast.
Make sure you can hear me.
I need to bring this over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the whole table. I'm gonna slide it real slow. There we go. That thing's got to be like
Right up in the
tongue length, bro.
dick licking fucking measurements.
Dude, welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast, my good sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for tatting me the other day.
Yeah.
I already had like 10 compliments on it.
Good. People recognize it yet?
Nah, but as soon, dude. Oh my god, dude. You remember how you were telling me, well, like you named it Meow Meow, and you were like, people stop and they look up and they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Remember how you told me that?
Yeah,
As soon as I walked out the shop, dude, these two girls were walking by. I swear to God, one of them looked up and said, Meow Meow, what is that? I swear to God. I was like,
working. Shit,
yeah, I
it's
said,
working.
Kim, did you hear that? She was like, yeah. I was like, remember he just said that like 5
Yeah.
minutes before. So I'm walking, so I come out, they say that, and I'm walking down to the corner to go across the street, and I see a chick with a Relax We All Die tat with a
Oh.
turtle.
Oh, yeah. She told me she got tattooed after you, I think, that day.
Did she?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She
because
told
I
me
was
she
like,
ran into you.
yeah, I was like, can
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
that tattoo? I was like, that's really dope, because I was telling Kim about the Relax We All Die.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's it. That's what he does right there. Because I know she saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
But, like, I was always, like, that's my number one question to you, like, because every time I see your work, I'm like, what inspired that? Like, the Relax We All Die. Like, where'd it come from?
It's not like what everybody might think, you know. I think I drew the first one, which was that skeleton sitting in the beach chair.
Yeah.
Probably like a year and a half ago. It was like February because I was up in Philly. I remember that. And it was right after the last school shooting. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I mean, like, humanity's so fucked right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily like a direct like conversation with that incident, but I just needed something to feel better, you know, and drew that thing. And like that one in particular, that skeleton in the beach chair one, man, that fucking thing went viral like crazy. Like somebody put it on Reddit, and it just
Shit.
It went fucking bonkers. And the next thing I knew, it was like people were calling to ask me if I was famous. It was on the front page of Reddit.
What?
Yeah. So, but I had never even been on Reddit, so I was like, my friends who are kind of nerdy, you know, friends. And
Is it like, it's politics, right?
Reddit?
Yeah.
Reddit now is like this social media platform. Again, I'm still not on the fucking
I'm
thing.
not either, but I've definitely heard of it.
But it's like, it's a bit like, from what I can tell, it's a bit like if you mix Twitter and Instagram together, kind of. But it's weird because they got to pay to leave comments. I don't know. Somebody tried to explain it to me, but I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
See, I always thought it was political, like, I thought anybody could write on it, and it's like these political news stories that like bring the truth,
It
quote
might
unquote.
be. I have no idea, but I just know people like were hitting me up
Shit
like,
went
"Hey
viral
man,
on Reddit.
I saw your tattoo on the cover of Reddit today," and it didn't really have much of an impact on me as far as I could tell. But yeah. Then next thing I know, like all that tattoo got ripped off like 100 times. You know, which
like
is
people
cool.
drawing your drawing.
People tattooing that drawing.
Oh,
Like,
they were tatting
Yeah, Europe, like all over Spain,
What?
and like
Holy shit.
yeah, and then it
dude.
was like every other week somebody, like a tattooer friend of mine, would send me a picture of one that they saw somebody else had ripped, you know, which is fine. I didn't really give a shit. And people were getting up with me, like the turtle one you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of people like got up with me on that and be like, hey man, I live in Australia or whatever, and I don't want to just rip your shit without talking to you, and can I use it? And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I don't care, man, you know, tat it up.
How many people you think tatted that turtle?
Dude,
How many
way to
people you
know.
think tatted the skeleton?
I mean, I
Like
just
thousands?
one day, probably about a year ago, maybe less. I don't know. I was in between tattoos, and I was like, let me just hashtag relax we all die and just see what that pops up. And dude, they were like, and these are just the fools that are like hashtagging their stuff. You know, there's probably 10 times more that don't hashtag
Dude,
their
how many,
pictures.
dude?
And there were probably 50 that I
Shit.
came across just in the hashtag that weren't mine.
And they were tattoos.
They were tattoos, other people, but crazy. Like, it was a palm-sized tattoo, and I saw people doing it in the entire thigh size, like this big.
Oh my god.
Like, same drawing,
dude.
didn't change anything. Just like, rah, just punk rocked it all over, you know,
Holy
10 times the
shit.
size. But
Does it make you second, like, guess putting stuff on Instagram?
nah, not really.
Yeah.
You know, you got to live and die by the sword, you know.
Yeah.
At least me, I do all custom work, so I got to, like, post my drawings. And, I mean, as far as I know, people can rip them and tat them before I even get to tat them,
Yeah.
you know, which is just part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy though. Well, just from a creative artist standpoint, it's, to me, it would upset me probably a little bit, like just being in your shoes. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
I put my heart and soul into something, and then somebody just took it, you know, if you ask, it's kind of different as far as like the way I see it.
Yeah.
But still, like, that's your livelihood, isn't it?
For sure. There was a couple instances where, like, I don't know, I'll tell you what bums me out is that people don't even know where it came from. Like,
Yeah.
they don't even know who drew it.
Yeah,
There's
but
just
it had your
many of them
name.
out there.
It had-
Some of them do, yeah, but like I since then started putting my Instagram handle on all my drawings.
Yeah.
So if they get screenshotted, at least somebody knows somewhere.
Yeah.
But there was a dude who was fine. It was a nice dude. There was nothing wrong with it. He was a tatter up in the Northeast or something, and somebody brought him that drawing. Was like, "Yo, I want this tattoo." And the dude changed. To be fair, he changed quite a bit of it, but he left a lot of it kind of like, you could tell it was like influenced by the drawing, and it had "Relax, we all die" up in a little floating banner and whatnot, and somebody sent me that, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think the tattoo was that great. And then, but somebody, like, there's a page that a bunch of people follow called Tattoo Snob, and it's this dude up in Portland who, I'm not even sure he's a tattooer, I don't think he is, but he just reposts tattoos, and he's got like 750,000 followers, and he fucking somehow picked that up and posted that tattoo on his page, and then gave that artist credit, and that's where I kind of drew the line a little bit. I was like, yo.
Yeah, like, this is my did he fix it?
Yeah, he did actually.
Yeah,
I reposted the tattoo, said what I did it, tagged him in it, and like 2 hours later, he had already yanked it. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's cool.
Yeah,
you know?
it's good that because it's so hard sometimes to find the origin of shit in social
Yeah.
media. It gets so lost in the
For
sauce,
sure.
dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. But people a lot of tatters raise holy hell about that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I mean, Drew, Susie that I work with, like, he fucking tracked that dude down on his page and got into a fucking fight with the dude. The dude was threatening to come down and fucking shoot him and all kinds of crazy.
Over stealing his artwork or
Over
yours?
mine. It was, you know. Yeah, the dude was like gonna come to the shop and fight Drew, and like it was ridiculous. But it's tattooers, man. They're moody artists. You know?
Yeah, like, dude, to be honest, it's hard for me. Like I told you the first time you tatted the cardinal on me, I was like, man, I really don't get along with a lot of tattoo artists. Like the last 3 or 4 that tatted me, I was just like, yo, when they got done, I'm like, dude, you're a dick. Like, I'm not going to come back to you. Just because you're not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, dude, I'm less tattooer than anything. I probably got more architect in me than tattooer.
yeah.
You know, for sure.
Yeah, as hence the straight lines. How good you are at the line work.
Obsessive over that shit, for sure. You know, I don't know if I was born that way or I picked it up in school or what. But.
Were you ever, like, planning on being an architect?
Yeah, I mean, I went to architecture school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, dude, I went to school, fucking did really well in school. And then got out, went to work with these like guys in Brooklyn, in New York. They were like architects who did like metal work, worked in metal shops for like 3 or 4 years, and then went back to Philly and worked as a builder for like 10 years. I came to tattooing late, like 35.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I was actually teaching, got picked up by Philadelphia University because they didn't have any architects who knew how to build. And I was like the youngest person on faculty for a while.
So you were teaching.
Yeah, teaching architecture.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I fucking chucked that all to
Yeah.
like go clean some crackhead's toilet for free to learn how to tattoo.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's so awesome at 35 to just
35.
be like, "Psh,
Stupid.
fuck it,
Probably
dude."
so stupid.
Nah, that's
but, like,
fucking awesome,
yeah.
dude. I
I
think
didn't-
that's so dope when people have the courage to just be like, fuck
it.
you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go do what I want to do.
My
And it
fri-
served you well, dude. Like, you're
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
booked. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking dope. Because I think it was you. I'm almost positive that you were like last year, and I think it was like early, like halfway through the year. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm closed for the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Dude, that's awesome to be
Yeah.
booked out like that.
It is cool, like, but it overlapped. That whole thing overlapped the hurricane, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I realized, like, you take $100 deposit on every appointment, you know? And if you are booked out 3 months, dude, doing 2 tattoos a day for 5 days a week, you're sitting on some cash. If for
Hell
something
yeah.
happens and you can't do those tattoos, it's not like, because that money's spent. Let's be honest. Like, that money's gone. Like, I got to pay these fools back. So, like, I started to get nervous, you know, about booking out too far.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, well, let me just cut it off for a while.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get out of hand. But I got friends who are booked out a year and all that. 2 years is fucking crazy.
That is crazy, dude.
I'm
Holy shit.
Not interested, man. If somebody books an appointment, you don't see him for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, forget it.
Damn, that is crazy to be.
Yeah.
I like to book them out a little bit just to be 100% sure that's what I want. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I know I like this tattoo. I know I want it, but like 6 months from now, am I gonna feel the same way about it? And I even think about a tattoo for like, this is kind of stupid, but I'll think about a tattoo for like 6 months before I actually get
that's
it.
not stupid.
Because I'm like, damn, dude, it's gonna be on my arm. I'm gonna be an old man with like tattoos on my
Yeah.
arms, and my grandkids are gonna be like, hey, what's that? What's that fish eating a tiger? Like, what's that mean, daddy? Or granddaddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to be like, I mean, some of my tattoos are kind of dumb, but it's like, whatever. Who cares?
Sure.
Who gives a shit?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I mean, people, you know, when you get old, you're gonna look like shit anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna be covered in weird ass liver spots and moles, skin tags. Your grandkids gonna be like, "What's that nasty ass skin tag?" You ain't gonna
Your
be worried.
tattoos are cool.
Yeah,
What's up
you
with
ain't
that
gonna be
skin?
worried about the tattoo, man. You'll be like, your teeth are all busted. You know.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
Yeah. No, but I'm stoked because like it used to be that like, people like had to get tattooed immediately. You know, like they went into it. It's because you just walked in the shop. You didn't really. It's like being booked out for months and months is kind of a modern thing. You know, it's like
Yeah.
post social media phenomena. But most of the time, it wasn't about the individual as a tattooer. It was about the shop and like the shop
Right.
name, and people just wandered in there and looked at some portfolios, and usually that person was sitting on their ass in the corner waiting for somebody to come through the door. And people got tattooed like that day, and for a long time, people bitched and moaned about having to wait. You know, but I'm stoked now that people are willing to.
Hell yeah.
Wait a few months and.
Dude, you got to. Like, if you want some quality work in
Yeah.
any trade.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
In
Yeah,
any
yeah,
trade,
yeah.
if you're worth a fuck, you're gonna wait
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at least a week or two. You know, it's like people. But if you do what you say you're gonna do, like not necessarily tattooing, but just like any kind of service trade work.
Sure.
If I'm like, okay, I'll be there in 2 weeks on this day at this time. Like people will wait nowadays for that
Yeah.
because people are so unreliable. Like
Totally.
our generation is like, it's just so unreliable,
It's
man.
True. It's true.
God damn, how did it get like that?
I don't know. I think people are just like hide. It's too easy to hide behind your phone, send a text message, you know, something like that.
What do you think? Like, I do want to know, like, what you think about phones and social media and whatnot, because it's a big reason why I
Yeah.
started this podcast, to like have a face-to-face conversation
Dude,
without the phone.
Yeah, I'm older, so like, I feel like a lot of times like I long for the days before people could track you down all day, every day. Like I'll watch old movies that don't have cell phones in it just so I can reconnect with how people communicated. You know, like stuff
Yeah.
from the 80s, like watch Goonies, like
Where you got to run home and use your house phone with the,
yeah,
and then they might not be there, or their
Yeah,
mom might
yeah.
pick up.
or people you just went over to somebody's house.
Yeah.
Just knocked on
Showed
the damn
up.
door. If you did that today, they'd be like, "What the fuck? Get the fuck
Call.
out of here!"
Call.
Yeah, try-
His
or
cell
if you
phone.
Call,
He's
people
got
don't
his-
even like for you to
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
Like, what is this calling thing?
Yeah.
No, But I don't know, man. It's like I think it's a bad idea generally to get like to fight change entirely.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like a movement like technology. Is
Yeah, for sure.
ridiculous, you know. So I try and enjoy the benefits of it and not get too wrapped up in it.
Do you think it's like affected people negatively? I mean, more than positively, or is it kind of balanced out? Or
I don't know. I think it's made a completely different human. I think it's a chocolate and vanilla thing. It's like they're not wrong, you know, but they just grew up different. They just grew up with these fucking things in their hands, and access to information is so much faster, and I think you learn faster because of that.
That part's dope.
That part's awesome, but like, fuck, man, like people ain't really about being outside. You know, a lot of times I think they're just too easy to get on your phone and and just get lost in that. But
it's cool how they have like you can look at your screen time.
And
you can see like mine. It doesn't really hold true because I use a GPS all day on my phone. So I'm like, but I don't know if there's a way you can see how much you're on social media, because that shit most of the time. I know you kind of run a business off of it and promote your business. I mean, I kind of promote the podcast and stuff like that off of there. But most of the time, dude, I find myself doing that, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I just wasted 30 minutes where I could have been doing something productive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, I'm a little younger than you, and so, like, I remember I got a cell phone, I think, in, like, 8th grade. So I remember in 8th grade I had, like, this Nokia, and it lit up, like, when somebody would call, it would have these two blue lights.
I remember them,
Yeah, I had one of those, and it was, like, the T9 word that you had to, like, hit the button 6 or 7.
multi-tap.
Yeah, multi-tap, and it'd take forever to text. Dude. And I was just like, I'm going to be able to cheat on tests with this thing, dude.
Dude, the only reason I remember, I was like, I didn't even get I had the, when I was working as a builder, I just had the Nextel phone. You remember those?
The chirp?
Chip, chip.
Yeah.
I just was rocking those forever. And then, like, I hooked up with this girl that was like, man, she was like 15 years younger than me, smoking hot fucking babe. And she was like, yo, I tried to text you some, like, dirty texts, but you don't even have any text. I went to the store immediately and got a new phone.
Oh, my God.
That was, like, pre-iPhone, but, like, I'm not going to dog out technology entirely, so.
You need to receive that dirty text,
Dude,
bro. I'm going to go
I was
upgrade.
like, what am I missing? I need to find out.
Yeah. And she knew what it was because she was 15 years younger, and she's like, I'm going to text some dirty shit to this guy. Yeah, she never expected you to have a Nextel chirp, dude. Dude, them things would chirp like a beeper. It was like a beeper cell phone.
It pretty much.
I never had one of those.
Because you had the walkie-talkie option. You used it as basically, that's what they were pitching it as. It was like a walkie-talkie.
It kind of looked like a Motorola walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it was like yellow. It looked like a DeWalt like tool or something.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. And like, that's probably 15 years ago?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, 15 years ago. How crazy. Like, I had a guy named Paul Gaither on the podcast. I don't know if you know him. Bunch of tattoos. I didn't know if he used to have a big beard.
Sounds familiar, but
anyway, had him on. He was saying that he thought that in 15 years people were going to have, like, their spines were going to be all warped and contorted because they're all looking down. And I disagree with him because I was thinking that by then, dude, we'll have like contact lenses and fucking, or they'll implant something under your skin or some shit. That'll make you like, or like your glasses that you have on, like you'll be able to just pop something on the side of them and be able to see with your regular ass glasses that you, like your style glasses, just put something on them. And so you don't even have to look at a phone.
Probably.
Dude, that shit will be nuts.
Are you sort of, are you just in conflict with it, or are you just for and against? Or I mean, you're doing a podcast. But.
Yeah, I just think that I think it's brought about like a lot of negativity, but also a lot of positivity at the same time, and I can't figure out which one outweighs the other. Yeah. Not that it really matters because it's going to continue regardless.
It's like, why bother comparing it?
But it's definitely something I want to be aware of, though. Like, I don't want to be like floating through life unaware of how much I look at my phone, or like if somebody's trying to talk to me. Like, all right, so you ever met anybody who, like, they'll pick their phone up while you're talking, or you'll say something to them while they're looking at their phone and they don't hear a word you say?
I think that's my wife.
Dude, I cannot stand that shit. Dude, for real. Like my old boss did it, my boss right now does it, and I told them both to their face, so whatever. Yeah. But, like, I'm like, dude, I'm talking to you. I'm like a real human being here. And my
yeah.
girl does it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, she's not that bad because I give her so much shit about
Yeah.
it. But it's just like, damn, you really can't hear anything I'm saying? Like, I'm right
Or
beside
they're
you.
like, for her, it's actually like delayed, like it had to travel to China and come back. I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm over. You know, and there's like an 8-second delay because she's got to stop.
Crazy.
She's got to check out of what she was doing on the phone and come back to me. She hears me,
Yeah.
but she just doesn't respond right away. I kind of want to come over and smack the piss out of her.
See, I don't remember anything, like, really much before that. Like, you probably remember, like, whenever that never happened.
Yeah,
But I don't
of course.
remember a whole lot of, like, before that. Like, having an adult conversation, because I was never an
And
adult.
There
never.
was something that somebody could use as a distraction between.
Yeah.
I mean, even cigarettes were like social. They're more social than phones. Like, because you could light up when you started to talk. A lot of my friends, I don't smoke, never did, but like cigarettes anyway. But a lot of my friends, every time they engaged in a social activity. Like, I worked in a lot of shops, you know, metal shops, and your buddy would come in from the shop next door, and everybody would put their shit down and light up a cigarette.
Shit.
You know, and that would sort of delegate the terms of the meeting. You know, it's like, okay, when this cigarette's over, I'm getting back to work.
Right.
You know, but it was a part of the conversation. But I can't think of anything in particular where, like, somebody could just fucking tune you out. Just be like,
Tune you out.
boop, just pick up their phone and not look at you, and you know, you would be like, what kind of, this person's acting like a crazy person. But I don't know, I think that comes from us being in the infancy of sort of technology.
For
you know?
sure.
Like
we definitely are.
That stuff's gonna go away.
Yeah.
That weird
We're like, I
social
think we
shit.
might be like overwhelmed with it a little bit. 'Cause like you're saying, the
Yeah.
infancy of it, we're kind of
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Like, all this shit's coming in, incoming. And it's like our brains have never been in a place like since human origin, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what I'm guessing. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess we could have been here before, but got hit by a fucking
Right,
meteor or
and all-
something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All those Apple phones vaporized.
Yeah, hell yeah. It might have been like watermelon phones or something.
Yeah, I think that, like, we're just, you know, I've listened to some other podcasts and stuff, and we talked about it.
Yeah, I
Joe
love Joe
Rogan's
Rogan.
dude, the Naval whatever his
Yeah.
name is, India dude.
Yeah.
He talked about how, like,
He's
you know,
amazing.
he's an amazing, super intelligent dude, and he's like, hey man, the human brain's just not meant to soak up information the way we force it to soak up information. It's not meant to see the news 24/7. It's not meant, it can't process all this stuff, you know? So you're just doing yourself probably ultimately like a physical disservice. You're probably causing like damage to your brain
Or
you
like
know?
stress or
But I think
shorter life.
all that stuff manifests physically in your body. I mean, that stress and anxiety and all that stuff, man, they cut the people's brains open after they die, and there's like bruising in there. You know, like dudes with PTSD and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, I think that's real physical sort of like issues, you know? But I mean, if you're all stressed out and anxious and all
Yeah.
that shit, you know, like, I guess we just got to put that phone down sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that's a big reason why I started the podcast, because it annoys the fucking shit out of me, dude. Like, if I'm sitting here, like, I can't wait to talk to you. Like, there's this one kid, Bradley, he's probably watching, but he comes on the podcast. I love talking to him, but he has a little phone with the book, like the little book cover thing
Credit
on.
card sleeve. or
That
something
thing,
on
yeah.
it,
And so he'll like flip this thing open, and I'm talking to him. I'm like, "Hey, motherfucker,
yeah.
like, we're on a podcast. Put that goddamn
Oh, he does
thing
it
up."
on the podcast?
Yes, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna make a little basket for you to put your shit in before you walk in
Damn.
here. And he's like, no. But I'll like, we've messed with him, like snatched
Okay.
it from him and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like, you know. But I'll just give him shit about it. Same thing with her. I'm like, hey, like, if you really want to watch a movie, like, let's watch it and like talk about it after and pay attention and just see what we come up with, because like I won't even know what's going on if I look down for 15 minutes at some stupid shit. Anyway,
I mean, people could, it's easy to sweat technology. You know, it's easy to be nervous and anxious about it. And I know tattooers specifically, like, they're the most paranoid group of people I ever met in my life anyway. But like, the conversation's always about like, when they're going to come out with that machine that tattoos people, and it's going to put all us tattooers out of business. Some Chinese dude's going to make it, and all tattoos are going to cost like $18. You're going to get a sleeve for $25 or something like that. But it ain't going to, you know, it's probably not going to look anything like what we think tattoos are anyway. It's
No.
going to be like a laser, and you walk into the tank, and it's like zap 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 bodysuit, you know, and it'll be pain free, and it just won't look like this. It'll be like probably some kind of crazy geometric kind of like laser treatment on your body or something.
See, that's remember the Naval guy? He was talking about the last piece of AI to come was the creativity.
Yeah.
Was it creativity that
He's
said?
like, no way. He was saying it wasn't. There was just no way. It was like to teach a computer to be creative is like, it's like getting into the sort of like nuances of every single corner of the brain and understand. It's like science is so far not there that it's like impossible. I loved hearing that because like a lot of times like you know, I feel like, man, creative people are like the real geniuses, you know, and a lot of times they just don't fit into society. They don't fit into the mold of the jobs and all that shit. And to hear a dude like that talk about, you know, that like they can't make a machine that is creative was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And, you know, like I'm stoked to be an artist when I hear stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was stoked. I was like, I think I was mowing my grass whenever I had the AirPods in and I was listening to it. I'm going to re-listen to it because you got me even more hype than I already was on that. Because it was probably top 3 podcasts I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
Like as far as how...
For me too, for sure.
Because I always like, I'll just hear people say shit and I'm like, really, motherfucker? Like, you're smart. Like, why would you say that? You know what I mean? And I'll hear people say it. But with him, I didn't hear one thing that I was like, everything he said, it was just like, wow. Like, that's really insightful almost and like thoughtful. Yeah. But it was dope when I heard that too. I was like, because I always think to myself, like, what's gonna be the demand? Like, where is this shit going? You know what I mean? And like, how can you recreate, like, when you do that right there on my leg, like something that came out of your mind. Yeah. Like, he's right, dude.
Before.
Dude, he's right. Like, it's gonna be the last thing to come, and it might not ever happen. Because he was saying that it might not ever happen.
Yeah, at least not in the form that it'll be. I would think that it would be a creativity out of just randomness. Yeah. You know, it'd just be like, we're gonna put all these elements into a system and it's gonna kick out an object. Yeah. You know, and that object never existed before. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't follow any narrative. It's not talking to anything specific. Yeah. But it's a cool object. Let me get that object. Right. You know? But that's not the same as creativity. It's like creativity's like, hey, you know, like a bunch of kids got shot at a school yesterday and like, how am I going to react to this?
So you made that right after the day after?
Yeah, the day after.
So Relax, We All Die. Like, what does that mean? What did it mean to you when you did it? When you did it, were you just like trying to cope with something that
I think
fucked
so.
up?
For me, like, you know, like I said, I was just looking for some way to feel better. And we had like 3. Yeah. You know, and as a gun owner, you know, like man, it bums me out in different ways. Obviously, you know, it's terrible that these kids are getting killed. That first and foremost, and then like it just sparks this like crazy ass bipolar conversation. Gun owners are fucking, you know, yelling over here, and liberals are yelling over there, and it's like it all just becomes so messy, you know. But yeah, I mean, I just drew it to feel better ultimately.
That's so dope.
And then a lot of people, it's just that I think a lot of times people who are come in to get one of those tattoos, the Relax We All Die tattoos, they'll ask me that.
Where it came from.
Yeah, and I always feel like I'm bumming them out a little bit by like telling them that.
Oh, I think it's awesome that it came straight from your heart, like trying to feel better, like trying to cope with a fucked up situation that had happened multiple times before.
But for a lot of people, it's just like, I don't know if it's a generational thing or it's just an age thing. Yeah. You know, it's like maybe young people, all of us wanted to be like, yo, fuck it. I'm not going to like sweat it. I'm just going to enjoy myself. Yeah. And for a lot of people, I think that's what that tattoo means. Yeah. But I'll tell you this. I had this dude come through probably like a year ago. He's actually got 2 appointments next week. He booked a whole day with me. And I'm stoked that he's getting tattooed again because I didn't know if the motherfucker would be alive. Because he has got like stage 4 colon cancer. He's got cancer in his lungs, got cancer in his liver, cancer in his colon. This dude was in between chemo treatments, booked his appointment in between treatments, came in and got the like There was one I did, like this skeleton in a beach shirt, and he's got a bottle in one hand and a drink in the
Yeah,
other.
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
And it's the
Like in a
relaxed-
layout chair.
No, this one's standing. He's just kind of doing
okay.
a jig on a forearm, but it just says, it's like it's got a couple things I can't remember, but it was definitely a relax we all die component to it. But for the first time, probably ever since I started tattooing, I was like, it started to creep into my mind this sort of like consequence of making art and the fact that it goes out there into the world, and I became like super conscious of other people seeing it for the first time, because I was like, whoa man, like what if this what it's going to be like when this doctor sees this tattoo? What's going to be like when his wife sees it? He's got a kid. What's going to be like when his kid sees this tattoo?
No shit.
What's it going to be like when the oncologist sees a tattoo? What's it going to be like when the mortuary guy, after he's dead, he's embalming this cat? Like, what's it going to be like for that person to experience that tattoo? What if he's got an open casket?
Dude.
What's it going to be like for everybody? He's going to have that shit out in the casket? Probably, because this dude was straight baller. Like, he was just like, fuck it.
Damn.
So
So
then
when
I
he
was
asked
like-
you to do it, you immediately started thinking all those things, or you just
Well, I didn't know any of that till I started tattooing the dude.
really?
He was like, well, actually, I got stage 4 colon cancer. I was
Holy shit, dude.
like, yeah. And so it was like kind of uncomfortable for a minute, but, part of what we do as tattooers is make people feel comfortable. So I sort of, you steer the conversation and don't run from it and talk about. A lot of tattooers just like, their social skills are kind of lacking, and
Yeah, you got really good social skills.
yeah.
Better than most tattoo artists, for sure.
But yeah, anyway, the dude was like, I was like, he walked out the door. I'm like, I hope I see you again.
And then you started thinking those things.
Yeah.
So
I was like,
when you got done with the tat.
yeah.
So
yeah.
he's got one tat from
He's
you.
got one. He's coming to get 2 more next
And
week.
it's the one he's got, the Relax We All
Yeah,
Die.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
why you were like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
If it would have been a different tattoo, you think you would have thought that same thing?
No,
Or is it just 'cause the guy
it's
may
fact that
die?
The dude, I mean, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
But, like, this dude's 30 and has cancer and got a
Yeah.
family and, like, wasn't looking real good for him. I mean, you have cancer like that all over your body. I mean, I'm surprised he's still going.
Yeah.
But he was a big old dude, and he had some, like, he said the doctors are just like, this probably kill most people just doing all the, treatments and stuff. But he was a big dude and had some weight to lose, and, so he could handle it. But yeah, stuff like that, man. Like I do a lot of tattoos. A lot of people do a lot of tattoos, but like, they're not all super important. They're important to the people getting them, but they're not all like super impactful. But that one, I was like,
How long ago was that?
it's probably like 8 months ago.
Okay, and then he's coming in.
Yeah, this coming week.
Dope, dude.
Yeah.
I bet you're probably looking forward to it.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
And like, it's like a super intense thing. So part of you is like, Jesus, I got to go through this shit.
Oh, it's
again.
going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool, man. You're tatting him
man.
again, and you're just like, yeah, you know the whole story already.
Yeah.
So you can just be like, how you been?
Yeah.
You saw him. Did he come in for the consultation?
No, he's from like Raleigh or something.
Oh, so he just hit
called
you
it
in. Nice. Yeah, that'll be dope, dude.
Yeah.
That's all. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah. So those tattoos, like I said, they mean different things to a lot of people that Relax We All Die stuff. So, I try not to trample, what they think it is for them.
Yeah.
It's just like
it
a
means
song.
something different for
it's
everybody.
like a song. People, we
Yeah.
all hear these things. We superimpose them over our lives, and they mean a certain thing to us and something else to somebody else. And
Yeah. Well, I've never seen anything like it. Like the Relax We All Die shit. And it's so true. And I just think that's cool how you kind of like came up with a theme almost like for your.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. You may not like that, but like
No.
just as far as like you got like a saying. Like if I see that, I mean, I guess now that I know the whole story, not necessarily did you tattoo it, but most likely
if you see it in Wilmington, I probably tattooed
and I can
it.
pretty much tell. Do you use a different kind of ink on your tattoos than most tattoo artists?
There's a million different blacks out there, but I just use one called Dynamic. A lot of people use it.
Your shit is dark.
It's dark.
Yeah,
I
dude.
I learned to tattoo from a dude that is a nice dude, but he was always really scared of using black in his tattoos, and they always looked like kind of soft.
Yeah.
Too soft because of that, I feel like. So, I don't know, maybe that was part of it, but I just make sure there's some black in there. You know, and like we get a lot of sun in the South, so like I used to do a lot of color pieces too, and I still do on occasion, but like black tattoos just do better in the sun.
Yeah.
So our skin here is like old leather. You know, like
Yeah,
it's like go to Portland.
Should have seen my great granddaddy.
I
Like
bet.
that baseball glove,
Exactly,
but dark.
like a catcher's mitt.
Yeah,
Like a worn out old catcher's
Yeah.
mitt. But you go to Portland, Oregon, or something like that, man. That skin's like alabaster. It's like white.
Alabaster.
You know, like dude, they do color tattoos. People are always showing me stuff like, "Hey, can you do this?" And it's like on some dude from the Ukraine who's never actually seen the sun ever in his life. It's been gray his whole life. Well, that tattoo's gonna look amazing, right?
It's like on a piece of notebook paper.
yeah, it's gonna look the whitest shit ever.
Because the darker the skin, the harder to tattoo, I guess, right? Or the
It's not hard.
harder
I mean,
to pop. Like it won't pop as much.
color's not gonna look as good.
Yeah.
And-
This shit on my leg just pops, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna. I mean, even though it's still healing and everything, it's gonna. I just feel like the ink you use is darker than. I don't have anything else like that dark. That shit's like 4 years old, dude.
Yeah.
And it's way darker than. And this is like This is the most recent one I got.
Who did that for you? That is
Brian Wren, I think.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it Brian Wren at Art
Yeah,
Fuel?
yeah.
Brian
I haven't
Wren.
met him yet, but that's a Dolly piece, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's off of that piece about the
He's-
dream.
I've seen a bunch of good pieces from him. Your homeboy, what's his name, the barber kid,
Christian with the Dolly Parton
yeah,
joint.
that one's
Shit's tight.
awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, that dude is slow as fuck from what I heard. But like, hey, do whatever you got to do.
It took him
'cause
like
your
6 hours to do this.
Your tattoos look amazing.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I saw him do the tiger like 2
Yeah.
hours in. He had the tiger pretty much done. I'm like, dude, I'll fucking come back
Yeah,
if I have
yeah.
to come back. Dude, he tattooed me till like, I think I got in there at, dude, it might have been longer than 6 hours because I got in there at like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he probably got me under the gun at like 12:30, 12:45. And I swear to God, dude, I didn't leave till like 7:30 or 8. But it was like, dude, like it looks good, pretty good like now.
Yeah.
But when he first got done with this shit, dude, it was insane. Like how
Yeah,
it looked,
dude,
like the white and how it popped and shit.
That Dolly Parton is.
Dude, that Dolly Parton's amazing. That's why I went to him because I saw
Yeah,
Christian
yeah,
Dolly Parton.
yeah,
I'm like, dude, the
yeah.
realism is insane.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do that on somebody's skin, bro, is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like it can't be like drawing on a piece of paper.
You just have to be so patient with that, like, realism stuff. Like, I just don't know if I have it personally.
Dude,
like
I
to
can't
move
believe how fast you tattoo.
Yeah, I like to just bam, bam, and get out of there.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, so yeah, like I feel like you really like I've had people just dig with the needle, dude, and I feel like even old boy up there at Good Graces, I feel like he dug my shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
even with the shading, like I feel like it just hurt so bad, but like both tattoos you've done, I feel like you barely even got the needle in there and they got the darkest lines out of them.
Yeah.
So I guess digging in deeper doesn't mean darker.
Well, there's so many variables, man. It's
Yeah.
like the ink you're using, like I said, some's not real dark. You know, and it's just personal preference.
Yeah.
Really, what your style, what you're after. You know, I'm sure. I mean, if you asked him, he could have a 20-minute conversation with you about blacks that
Yeah.
he uses.
Probably so, because he does
Yeah.
really good like
Yeah.
black and gray pieces. But yeah, dude, that your style, like I told you when I came in, is so unique. So it's like pretty fucking probably hard for somebody to rip that shit off. Like I know you said people have done it.
Do it,
Yeah, but I just feel like the girl with the turtle when I walked out there, I was like, yo, I mean, I knew even if like somebody did that exact same turtle, I could still look at it and be like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's some real shit. Like
I like that actually. It's like people, you know, it's not really ego or anything, but I love it when somebody stops somebody that they don't know and be like, hey, you know, I got this, you got that. You know, they're like in a club or something.
That's exactly
you
what I
know?
did. I was like,
Yeah.
I just got this cardinal, and I was like, yeah, but this one was covered up. I couldn't show her.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, he did this cardinal, and
She got last time I saw her, she got this little reaper. I did a little reaper on her ankle. It's like he's like having like a reaper having an existential moment. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He's like sitting above an empty grave like that, you know, like just hanging out, you know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's. I just don't see much stuff like that. So your shit's so original, and that's one reason why I wanted to have you on the podcast, and another one is because first time you tattooed me, because I asked you before I came back and got the leg piece, and I remember like I got done with it, and who was I talking to? somebody, dude. I was talking. I don't know if it was Jordan because you've tattooed Jordan or Maggie or somebody, but I was talking to him and I was like, man, like that's the first dude I've got tatted by that I felt like I could talk to a little bit. I don't know if I've just been unlucky, but he was cool. Brian Wren was cool. But I mean, I just don't know. Like I didn't vibe with Luke. I didn't vibe with the dude that did this. I can't remember his name. I don't know, dude. It's just been like Big Zach. He's cool. Like I've kind of vibe with him a little bit. He was at J Monkey when he did my.
Is he still there?
All he did was outline what I already had with a VCR motor and shit. But I don't know if he's still there. I ain't going to nobody but you and Ren from now on. Just because like you can be like really, and other people probably feel this way that'll watch this. Like you can be really fucking good at something, but like I'm not coming back to you if you're not. Like down to earth or like cool, you know what I mean? I don't care how fucking good your work is, like, and that goes for anything. Like you come over here and fix my air conditioner and be awesome about it, like about your work. But if you're a dick, it's like, dude, here, take the money.
Sure, I think probably that's a Southern thing.
Is it?
I think it is, man, and I value it. I like it too. It's like I'm usually trying to connect with most people anyway.
Yeah,
if I can't connect with you, if it's too weird, like. You don't go back. But in the Northeast, I lived in Philly for 15 years. Like, they don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
They're like, they don't even want to talk to you. Like, fix the air conditioner, get the fuck out of the house.
Yeah,
Here's your check, all right, and that's fine as long as you do it right.
I have some days where I don't like people want to talk to them, but most of the time, like that's what I value in life.
Yeah.
Is like real connections and like vibing with people, or like I can feel like. Some people I can't vibe with, and I can feel it when I meet them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll still give you a shot. Like, I'm going to still listen to what you have to say and maybe talk to you a little bit. But some people, you're just like, yeah. I can't have you. I can't have you around too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but, I'm like 2 to 3 people a day, which I guess isn't a lot relatively to what some people talk to at work. But I spend, like, I'm right up in their face. You know what I mean? Like, I'm touching your body for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
pretty
odd.
intimate. Like if you got weird chemistry there, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna mention any names, but I've worked with some people that like tattoo you for 4 hours and don't see a fucking thing to you.
Oof.
Nothing. Zero. They just put their head down. They'll blast you. They'll be freezing ass fucking cold. Got the air conditioner on you, blasting you with a fan on top of it because they're a fat tatter or something. And dude, the person's got a half a jacket on. One arm coming out of the jacket, shivering, and the person not talking to him the whole time, and that person wonders why people don't come back to get tattooed, or they go to somebody else in the shop and get tattooed by somebody else.
Yeah.
Dude, personality is like. And
you think it's basically like a Southern type of deal, like for the most part. I mean, I know you're not generalizing.
I think the need for it is Southern, but I mean, some of the dudes I know that like don't have any social skills at all are Southern. So
really?
Maybe there's no proof in that, but the king is Drew Susie. Like I work with that dude. He's got more personality than anybody I ever.
Is that the guy? Like, if I'm laying in your chair and you're tapping,
he's on the same side of the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Ruben Salazar is on the other side.
Yeah.
But so Drew is like people, you just see it. You just see how it unfolds. He can talk to people. He can entertain people. He's actively engaged in the conversation. He's not faking it. He's really interested in what the fuck you're up to and what you're doing. And I mean, his people love to get tattooed by him.
It makes a difference, dude. You could be like and I'm not saying he is, but you can be at like not as high a level as far as your work, and you and you boost it up above the next guy because you like you didn't just do the work and walk out. Like so I see four or five people a day basically at my job, and every single one of them, when I get done doing what I'm doing, I bring them in there and I'm like, this is what I did. This is what you can do to maintain it. And like I try to make them feel involved and make them feel like I gave my 100% effort, you know. And I just feel like that's a part of it. That's how I'm gonna succeed with that being one of a big asset for me. You know what I mean? Because even if my work isn't as good as the next guy, they're gonna call me because I'm a lot more easier and better to talk to than some people. You know?
And to be honest, like they don't have your eyes either. You know what I mean? Like they don't know the difference between like a A +++++ tat
Yeah.
and an A tat.
Same thing for me, like as far as
Yeah.
furniture repair.
Yeah.
Like I
They
can
just
see the
wanna-
flaws in it.
Yeah, but they're not going to see it. They're just going to go. They want to go to the person that does an A+ job.
Yeah.
and is cool.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I feel. And probably a lot of people probably feel the same way as far as like it's more pleasurable to be tattooed or to have somebody come inside of your house that is like a nice person for the most part, or can at least act nice for fucking an hour.
Dude, it's just good business, man. You know, it's like the dude that taught me how to tattoo, you know, for all his weird shit he was into, like, it was super important for him to, like, treat people right. You
Yeah.
know, etiquette, you know, when they hit the door and being friendly and greeting them and all that stuff, you know. I always thought, like, you know, somewhere along 6-7 years, I was like, if I can just make all the dudes feel cool and all the girls feel sexy, I'll be rich.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's I've never heard
what
that.
It's about.
Yeah.
You just like that. Dudes want to relate to you, you know, and like it's not like I'm trying, you know, I'm like faking it or
You're just
anything.
being yourself.
I'm just being myself,
Yeah.
but I leave the door open for that, you know, like if like, and a lot of times you can get a read on people. They're like nervous and they can't come out of their shell or whatever like that, and you know, I make them feel fucking cool.
Yeah,
you know?
see, that's a big thing that will help me in this podcast, because sometimes I've done them with people that I don't know, like that I've reached out to, and I'm like,
yeah, do you get some weird ones? I
mean,
does shit get weird
they get
sometimes?
nervous.
Yeah.
Like they get real nervous, and I'm like, you know, this camera's on you. You're speaking into a microphone. This shit's live. Like
Yeah.
I've had people say they don't want to do live, which is totally fine.
Huh.
Like I don't even like doing live, to be honest. Because I don't pay attention to it. I don't give a fuck what people say.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like I got this lady coming on tomorrow that wrote this book. Hopefully, I just emailed her again. But I read this book, and it was super dope, and it was about, I think I told you about this. Did I?
I'm not
While
sure.
I was getting tatted? Maybe
Maybe.
not. But it's like the relationship between the belief in UFOs and religion. And it's like, it's super interesting as far as like the belief in something.
Like why we need to believe in
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And
No,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, and like believing in something, how you'll defend that shit until the bitter end sometimes.
Doesn't
you know?
Naval talk about isn't that part of his conversation is like just when we can't make meaning of this meaningless thing that we're all caught up in, like we create things like religion and
Oh yeah,
aliens.
I don't
It's
remember.
Like, there's a bit in there about
Is
that,
there?
I think.
I'm
yeah.
going back and
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
I'll probably text you after I listen to it again.
I've been pushing that shit on people all
Dude,
week.
I love it. Have you good, man?
yeah.
Like people need to hear that shit. But yeah,
Is
she's
she local?
Yeah, I think she's a professor at UNCW.
Okay, cool.
So one of her students put me on her, and then I pre-ordered her book, and I read it, and I've been emailing with her a little bit, like trying to connect, like trying to get her to come on the podcast,
Yeah.
and hopefully she'll be on tomorrow, but I've never met her. So it'll be interesting to like learn from her as far as being a professor.
Yeah.
You know, like and I've never met her, and she's coming to my house to do a podcast.
She's gonna be all stiff.
Yeah,
think.
until I say
Professors are
fuck
stiff.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe. I don't know. I hope she's cool.
She
A lot
seems cool, dude.
Okay.
She seems super cool. But you're a tenured professor at UNCW, and to write a book about UFOs is kind of a risky.
Sure.
You know, it's like you could lose your credibility.
Have you read this yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it? I mean, obviously I haven't read it, but is it more to do with like why we need to believe in something and less about actual?
A lot to do with
UFOs.
that, and she actually goes to the Vatican in Italy. I guess it's in Italy or some shit.
Yeah.
And like there's
The Vatican's
tunnels.
definitely in Italy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
Yeah.
there's like tunnels underneath it, like secret tunnels.
Catacombs, dude.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
got fucking files and books and shit in it.
Huh.
Or some crazy shit, and like they're going through files, and dude, it's crazy at the end of the book how she ties it all in.
Is it fiction?
No, it's not. It's like her journey. She's interviewing
okay.
people who have seen UFOs or whatever, or like aliens and shit. And like she has to use different names in the book because one guy like doesn't want to be known. And dude, it's crazy. Like one guy worked at NASA and had this crazy history, and yeah, it's like a journey she went. She was just on Fox News last week.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I was like, "You want to come Tuesday?" She's like, "I'm on Fox News." I'm like, "Well,
Like-
shit. Yeah, enjoy that." This won't be like that. That's what I told her. I was like, "I'm probably the least educated
you know.
person you've talked to." So,
Education don't mean anything.
Yeah.
The smartest people I've ever met didn't have any education.
yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm stoked about that. Like,
I'll check it out, man. I'm gonna get this person's book. I need a new book.
Yeah, dude, this shit's dope. You can borrow that one if you
Yeah.
want. But I like reading shit like that, and just like I like to read weird shit, like shit that makes me think. And then I love human origins, like where humans came from, or where
me
people.
too, dude.
Do
Me
you?
too, yeah.
Like,
I think we have a lot of the same interests. Like I'm a Darwinist.
Yeah,
You know, like
evolution.
yeah. Like I love to try and like understand humanity through that filter. It's like, why the fuck are we the way we are? Like when a dude walks into a school and shoots up a bunch of little kids, like why, on a sort of like evolutionary, like
What
sort
went
of
wrong?
like, yeah. Why do we have what we have? And you know, and I'm like, dude, we got like if you think about it, like the humans, only the most savage, dominant, rapist, robbing, selfish pieces of shit probably lived to spread their genetics,
Which is us.
which is us. We got all that floating around in our blood. I'm not saying that's all we are.
Damn, I've never even
But,
thought
like,
about that.
But like that's the foundation of who we are as men anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say the same thing for women, but like,
But the men spread their DNA and made women, though.
yeah, I mean, think about it. Do you think that like the pacifist lived long enough to spread his genetics? Probably
Maybe
not.
like half of 1%
Yeah, it probably,
might have hidden somewhere and made it through a war or some shit, and then spread his seed or something.
maybe, but that's a small. It's like he probably got clubbed over the head in like 20 minutes. Be like, no, you're out. I'm taking your lady, taking your farm, taking your.
Because they could see right
deer
through
meat.
you back
Oh,
then,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point, man. Like that
Yeah.
fucking chemical imbalance or whatever it is that causes people to.
Yeah, why we are the way we are, for sure. I mean, you know, and I'll ultimately, like, when I can rationalize it, I feel better. You know, like, and
Like your primal feelings and shit, or
when
like
I can rationalize how I see humans acting out, like acting badly.
Yeah.
You know, doing shitty, selfish things. I'm like, okay, I can rationalize it because I know ultimately it's about survival.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we're just so young on the evolutionary scale. We think we're at the like peak of something always because we're selfish human beings, but we're just babies in all of this. That like, yeah, maybe one day we'll grasp that, and one day we won't have to smash each other over the head to survive, and maybe that asshole will be weeded out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I was thinking kind of the same, but kind of opposite too. Like, I was thinking that we used to kill each other all the time and get away with it and shit, right? Now, when you kill somebody, most likely you're going to get caught.
Some consequences.
Yeah, you're going to get caught probably and get locked up. So, most of those killers and people with those fucking primal instincts that they act out on and shit, like, they may not be able to spread their genetics, and we might be getting, like, just, like, softer as a fucking, you know what I mean, as a generation, or, like, as a, like, civilization.
Yeah.
But, like, dude, there's countries and places where they still eat people and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people that don't know anything about any of this shit. Like,
We're definitely in between on a bunch of different stuff. We're caught in between like two different worlds right now.
yeah.
You know, like there are those, you know, kids who are like professional gamers. Like
That shit's wild, dude.
They're making millions of dollars like
Yeah.
as gamers. They're
Yeah.
getting the hottest ass in the world from playing video games, and they're gonna spread their genetics just because they're like playing video games. And the warrior is changed. Like the warrior is not. I mean, it still is the dude that bashes some other dude over
Yeah.
the head, but like. There's an equal number of people that don't bash real people over the head. They just bash virtual people over the head, and now they're getting paid, and now they're like getting chicks, and like I got a whole angle on this whole evolutionary thing.
Yeah,
Especially when
I like it.
especially when it comes to like if like for a while I was just thinking on the masculine end, you know, like the like why dudes are the way they are. But then I was like, one day I was like out to eat, and again like. My lady couldn't figure out for like 20 minutes what to order on the menu, and I was like, and I figured out in like 2 seconds, right? I'm like, let's do this. Oh, every dude is the same, every chick is the same, and then I was like, and of course my brain was like, why are chicks like this? Like every chick I've ever been with can't make a decision like when they're at the not everyone, but a lot of
them, yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe all of the women that were able to make really quick decisions didn't need men around to help them make a decision. And then because of that, they didn't need a man at all. And because of that, they didn't procreate. So
that makes so much sense.
The ones that are more dependent and most dependent, they needed a guy around, which ultimately, like,
that's why they are that way. Damn. Dude, that makes sense, dude.
Right?
Like, that's not dumb at all. Like, that makes sense.
I mean,
like,
that's just like,
I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, social evolutionary theory, essentially.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome to think about, dude.
But again, it's like, so like when I'm sitting at the table and she can't make up her mind for 20 minutes, I just think of that instead of getting all like, I'm fucking hungry, let's do this. Like now I just sit back and let like science and biology play out right in front of me,
Tell me what you think about this. I think this is fucking weird, and I've told one person. So, dude, sometimes, and I don't have to be like hungry. Like, I can be just normal, like I ate a few hours ago. I'm not, like, if I'm watching the Discovery Channel or something, and like a fucking lion, or even really on Instagram, because I watch Nature is Metal, and I follow all these animal things, like these fucking vicious crocodiles and shit.
Attacks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like how vicious nature is.
Yeah.
But like a tiger or some shit, like runs up on a fucking whatever it's trying to eat, it makes me hungry, dude.
Oh, you get hungry from that?
Do you get hungry from that?
I don't think so,
dude. That's weird, bro. That shit should not make me hungry, dude.
I mean, you just posted like a big old pork butt on your Instagram.
I love meat,
like,
bro.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Like, I'm not a huge red meat guy, so like maybe if I was, like, I mean, the dudes that are meat dudes are like, man, they're eating meat every day. Like,
I don't want to eat the animal fucking alive. It just makes me want a steak almost. Or like I want to taste, like I want to take a piece of the animal and cook it. Like, I don't want to eat it raw. But it's weird that it makes me hungry. Okay, so
dude, there's stuff in your brain that like is been kicked around through generation for 60,000 years, dude. Like, I think it's real. I don't think it's bullshit. I think that's real, like, response, like, because listen, the dude that didn't have that response didn't bring home the meat. The dude that don't bring home the meat don't get the ass
and don't live
and doesn't live
and dies of hunger
and dies of never getting laid. Like the dude with the meat gets laid.
Yeah.
So
in
it's
more
like,
than one way he means that too.
Yeah. So it's like you that stuff just got carried. You've got a whole family history. You got 60,000 years of bloodline that, like, there's just an involuntary response. Like, you see blood, you get hungry.
See, I thought you might think something of that nature, because what you're talking about makes me, because like, you bow hunt.
Yeah.
So like when you draw the bow back, like, what do you feel like when you're about to take one out?
Yeah.
Like, do you not feel or think anything, or are you just like a blank canvas?
What I love about bow hunting is, like, I mean, you got a ton of adrenaline going at that point, so you're just fighting that. You're just trying not to, like, be so shook up that you can't make a responsible shot on an animal. But, man, to be honest, like, the most fascinating thing is that my brain, before, like, when I'm in the woods and I can hear animals moving around in the woods and the leaves, before I even know what it is, my body knows what it is. Like, if it's a raccoon early in the morning, or a possum, or it's a squirrel in the afternoon, sometimes they do a pretty decent copy of a deer. And, like, you think consciously, oh, maybe that's a deer. But your brain knows that it's not. Like, when I hear a deer walking through the woods, or when I hear the sounds that's actually a deer walking through the woods, my brain responds before I do. I get an adrenaline boost immediately. It only happens when I hear deer walking. It doesn't happen with any other turkeys.
Like, there's no doubt.
Or like dogs. My brain knows before I know, and I start boom, boom, boom. Your heart starts cranking. Like, but isn't that the coolest thing in the world, that, like, somehow your brain knows that you need that boost to be able to kill this animal?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
That shit is nuts.
That's animal stuff.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's almost like that same, or it could relate to that same instinct as far as, like, I'm hungry because or like a lady can't choose because of thousands and thousands of years of not being able to choose and procreating because of that trait.
Yeah.
But I just think that shit's dope, man.
The killer is always just below the surface. It's always right with men, I think specifically, for sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting, dude. To me,
is.
that shit that you're talking about, like why we are the way that we are, is my favorite. Dude, it's so interesting. Like there's pages.
It's my favorite thing to talk about or think about too.
Yeah,
you know, because if you like. When you get all bent out of shape about humanity and how poorly they're acting, it's easy to be like, well, you just got to do the right thing. Like, I do the right thing. Dude. You do the right thing. Why can't these fools do the right thing? But then when you really start to understand just like the levels of separation between like us as like cave dwelling, hitting chicks over the head with rocks and raping them, it's not that far.
No,
it's really
it's not.
All that stuff's lingering around in our system.
Yeah.
You know? I was watching... I've been watching that war documentary, the Ken Burns World War II documentary on Netflix. Have you seen that? It's like 8 parts. Crazy.
No.
You should watch it. It's
I'm
super
definitely
intense.
gonna.
But
is it in color?
Some of it. Most of it's like real footage, black and gray. It's like pretty gnarly war footage. But there was this Marine pilot on there, and he was talking about like, and it kind of ties in with this book maybe a little bit. I don't know, or some of that conversation like, I just heard it last night. It was one of those things where I was like, boom. I was like, holy shit, that's so fucking on point. He said that, like, humans are inherently evil. Like, we have evil in us. And that, I think he didn't go into the depths that we're talking about it, like, as a means of survival, as a means of evolutionary survival. It's like only the most gnarly, evil human passed on their genetics. But he just kind of stopped with humans have... inherent evil in them, and because of that, we created God. We created God to sort of combat that. We created religion
level us out
to combat that. Like without those things, like we spin out like wild animals.
Damn,
and I was
that's
like,
crazy, dude.
Like, oh, that's so right.
I read a lot about that in that Sapiens book. I don't know if it's up there. Have you read that?
I haven't.
Dude, it's so good, and it talks about how religion, I think it was that book or Tribe. There's another one that I heard Rogan talking about. I had to read it, but it was talking about how people create a religion like you're saying, and it was because we got bigger. I think it was Tribe. We got bigger than a tribe, and like there's other levels to tribes that I can't remember the names of when you get bigger and bigger and bigger. But anyway, we got so big that there was only one way to control people, and it was through making a religion to control like a huge...
You need an invisible presence that's always keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Because like the police aren't enough or the government's...
Yeah, like something to make you feel guilty when nobody's around or whatever the case may be.
The invisible hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just crazy to think about, dude. Like, even money. Like you know what I was thinking while you were saying dude, it was so fucking perfect how you're saying like only the evil people passed on their genetics and shit like that guy. Dude, the proof is in like Genghis Khan. Like he changed the carbon footprint because he raped and destroyed so many fucking people.
Yeah,
dude.
that his whole posse spread genetics like crazy.
Changed the carbon footprint.
Totally.
So what does that mean? That means like you change genetics so much that it changed the carbon footprint of the fucking of civilization. Dude, how fucking nuts is that?
It's nuts. Humans
How'd that dude's
crazy.
dick not fall off, dude? Holy shit, dude. What a savage, bro.
Yeah.
Like people used to be straight up savages.
This you know how in nature that there's like usually a self-governing element. Like if there are too many deer, some of them get sick and die.
Yeah.
If there's too many deer, like there's not enough food, and some of them starve to death, and or they get freeze to death as a consequence of not having enough food. One thing I think about a lot is that, like humans, are just we've eliminated so many of our predators, whether they were actually animals or biological, that like we got too many humans, and we just keep getting more and more humans, and it's one of our sort of like consequences of our sort of evolution is that we're just gonna like create more pollution. We're gonna like fuck the world up because there's because we don't have enough predators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've made it. We've made
the
nerfed
world
everything.
a safe place. So like we're always having these sort of like forward conversations. You know, it's like how to get forward, but like that's one of the benefits of like taking it back.
Being able to look back is a fucking huge part of being able to move forward, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like in areas of my life, I'll look back and I'll be like, well, that shit didn't work and it went terribly wrong. So it's maybe I'll go like a little bit left or do something a little bit different. You know, we learn from our mistakes, dude. It's part of being, you know. But yeah, no, I agree. Like that's dude, you fucking making me think over here like hard about. Cause see, I love human origins and shit, but I've never thought about none of that shit you were saying, like about why people are like school shootings or like women not being able. Dude, that you could think about that. That shit could go for so many things.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like to be like, well, he shot up the school because of violent video games. Which maybe that's the case. I don't know.
It could have played a small part or
Yeah.
triggered that one little thing in his brain that was there.
The monster was there. That's what I'm saying. The monster was already there.
Yeah.
You know?
That shit's crazy. That's crazy that you came up with Relax, We All Die from a school shooting.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, dude, we should dude, I want to try to get somebody in here that's interested in that, like that knows a lot about human origins and shit, and we can just drill them, bro. That's what we'll do. We'll get somebody in here that's like a professor or some shit, and me and you can just like I've always wanted to get a preacher and like ask him what happened to everybody like before Jesus. Like, do they all go to hell or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what happened, bro?
They're not gonna be able to answer that.
I need to know. I need to know that, dude.
They're gonna be. I guess they would say the world was just full of sin or something like that.
Yeah, what?
I don't know, but
it's just mind-blowing to think about, like, what happened before that? Just like the fucking, like, what happened before we started writing shit? Like, what happened? Like, what were the fucking Aztecs doing? Like, you know, we hear stories that were fucking sacrificing people and shit, like, all day, drinking blood and cutting heads off and shit. But, like, what was really fucking going on? Like, before the Europeans came over and got them all sick and shit and killed them all off, like, what happened? Like, I don't know. It just makes me think, like, in history, we hear all this shit and we learn about it in school, but, like, what really fucking happened? Because, like, we hear, like, what, Theodore Roosevelt, was that who it was that killed all the fucking Native Americans or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, like, what really fucking happened? Like, did he really do it like that? Or, like, what? You know, it just makes me think, like, was the shit recorded how they want us to know it? Like, was it like where the guy's like, all right, well, this is what happened, but you have to write it down like this, and that's how it got passed on to us? Because they say history is written by the winners.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think one thing you can count on, and it's basically what we've been talking about, is like humans are just, violence is embedded in being a human, you know? And God, I was watching that World War II documentary, and like, that wasn't that long ago, dude.
Nah, bro.
You know, and human life had very little value.
They were piling them up and pushing them into holes and shit.
Dude,
bulldozers
like
and tanks.
The U.S. bombed and killed like 300,000 German civilians. 300,000 in the final like stage of civilians, men, women, mainly women and children.
How many people live in New York, you think?
I think it's like 6 million.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. So 300,000 people. I just wonder what kind of city that would be, like us fucking bombing.
Multiple medium-sized cities, I guess.
Holy shit, dude. That's so many people, dude. 300,000?
It's just civilians. Those are just the like.
That's like bombing Woodstock or some shit. Dude, wasn't there that many people at Woodstock?
I think so, yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
But the fucked up part is like they tell you that that's a necessary. It's like collateral damage, and it's necessary to get our point across or some shit.
Yes, yeah, it's the only way to win.
God damn, it's so fucked up. Because if it was being done to us, dude, I would fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I would want to join the military and go kill these motherfuckers. Like if they were doing it to us or some shit.
A lot of people did. Like 2,500 people died on 9/11. The whole fucking country spun out.
You know what's weird as American Sniper, when I saw that, I wanted to go fucking join the goddamn Marines right then, dude. And then I was like, why? What about that movie made me want to do that? And it's like the way the other side was depicted. And it's like the way they're depicted to me was like, I want to fucking kill you for what you did, you know? And it's like, I just had to start thinking about why was my mind, because we're so, dude, Tribe, have you read that?
No.
Dude, you'll love that because it
Yeah.
talks a lot about what you're talking about, like as far as mindset. Like, why is it like my side versus your side? And like the kill or be killed.
It's safer.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it's like about survival.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody fucks with your tribe, you gotta like go fuck their tribe up.
Yeah, exactly. And I just
Sure.
start thinking about like, why is my brain? That's a big reason why I started the podcast too. Is like I want to know how your brain works, and I feel
Right.
like I've accomplished my mission tonight with you on the podcast.
Cool. Sick.
Yeah, I just feel like I got to know you a lot better, and that's awesome.
Cool, man.
I could tell we kind of had some of the same interests whenever I
Yeah.
was. And when you said the Naval podcast, and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
had listened to it like a week before, I'm like, yeah, I like this motherfucker. I need him on there. Yeah. So I really appreciate you doing the
Yeah,
podcast.
dude.
Hey, Shawn just opened up a shop, Meow Meow,
Yeah.
downtown. Oh, is that the hat, dude?
One
The
of
double M's?
Double old M's.
Maybach Music, boy. Meow Meow. And it's downtown. Where's it at? What's the address?
226, sorry, Princess Street.
226 Princess
Yeah,
Street.
Just up from Bespoke, right next door to my homie Din at Guys Do Nails. Yeah.
Sick ass sign out
Taking over
front
the
hanging.
block. Yeah, block
Yeah.
takeover.
Hell yeah, block party, boy.
That's right.
And you just opened that shop up.
2 weeks ago.
Brand new shop. Shit's decorated so fucking dope. Like that ain't really your mom in that picture, is it?
It is.
I thought you were fucking with me, dude.
No, that is. A lot of those people are strangers. I don't know.
That
but,
story
like,
was
that's
so
my
cool.
mom.
He told
That's
me.
my mom, dude.
Go in there and ask Shawn about the picture right next to his chair with
She
a lady.
she gave birth to me that week. Yeah, that
Dude, I
week.
thought you were fucking with me,
No,
dude.
no.
I walked out and I was thinking, I was like, he had to be fucking with me because that story's so fucking cool,
Dude,
dude.
it is cool, but no, that's legit. That's
And
why
she's
that-
like standing next to a muscle car, dude, pregnant as hell.
That's why she's there. That's why, because that picture is so fucking cool.
Dude, that's such a cool picture. And I was like, yeah, I kind of believed you when you told me. And I walked out, I was like, that's too cool to be true.
Dude, it was
Can't
wild.
be.
It was Florida in the 70s. My old man was a crazy ass pirate. Just a wild man. Wild man.
Yeah, your shop's dope. Y'all
Thanks,
go
man.
check his shop out. Book your shit. I'm sure all your artists are fucking awesome down there.
Drew's awesome. He's booked out till like August sometime. And Ruben, he's booked out for a few weeks or something like that. But
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Anything else you need to? Oh yeah, Instagram. Follow electric_hands.
That's right.
On Instagram, electric hands. Yeah. Oh, what's up with your default picture? Like, what is that?
I don't know. It's just a drawing of an old fat guy with tattoos.
Yeah, I see it, and I instantly know it's you with the little. I just wanted to ask you about that.
No,
I like
that
that
I just
too.
like. That's probably me. Just some old guy, old tatter guy.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. So Instagram, new shop.
That's about it, dude.
Yeah. Cool.
If any tatters out there need a job, I got a space.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
And that's a Meow Meow shirt, ain't it? Or is that
no, this is an old.
Oh, it's Good Grace's
one.
shirt.
That's a blast over. I'm repping the old shop.
That's the
even though-
infamous shark.
Yeah, the Sriracha blast over.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, it's a sriracha. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. Who does all that?
Our prints.
Yeah.
I usually have those crazy brothers at Snapdragon.
And they do the hats too.
Yeah, they do all that.
Sick. Yeah, I love the Beavis. Is it Beavis or
Yeah,
Butt? Yeah,
Beavis.
Beavis. Yeah, and he has the
He's got an afro.
Relax, We All Die.
Relax, we all die in his afro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your stickers. You got new stickers.
yeah.
Or you just did Den stickers.
I did Den stickers. I got stickers at the shop too. The big old Meow Meow grill with the big lips and the Meow
Yeah,
Meow
that's
grill,
right.
and then the Beavis sticker, and
Yeah.
then the Vans Jesus,
Yeah, the black or the red and white.
red check Vans
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Y'all show my man's Jesus on Instagram some love, man. You ain't gonna go to hell if you click
That's
like
right.
on a Jesus picture,
There
okay?
ain't no hell. The only hell we got is right here. So you're living in it already. Might as well like the photo.
Hell yeah. Make your hell a little better and
That's
like
right.
the Jesus
Like the
picture.
Jesus picture.
Like the sacrilegious shit.
That's right. That's
But yeah, dude, thanks for being on the
Yeah,
podcast.
dude.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I'll definitely be back to get y'all get attached from my man. Hit him up. I'm sure you got business like a motherfucker, but yeah.
How do you know if people are commenting or anything like that?
Oh, we can look at it. Hold on.